And there we go. The microphone is on. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you all on board. I'm your host, DrFox2000, and you're watching VolcanoX live stream. And, okay, I'm already forgetting to do things here. Been inundated by several phone calls already and stuff like this. And emails going like crazy right before the stream, which is my crucial time to be doing other things like setting up the stream. And I'm just overwhelmed and kind of flustered right now, but we'll see if we can work through it. Anyway, glad to have everyone here. So yeah, no worries, Sue. It's okay. It's just all of a sudden, you're not the only one who sent me an email. All of a sudden, I've got like 8 emails coming in, boom, 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 one after the other, right before the stream. And it's just, while I'm on the phone, you know, it's just a little overwhelming sometimes. But it is what it is. It's we got to live with it and keep going and try to keep smiling, right? So anyway, I'm glad to have you all here. And good to see that all the good people are joining in, and that is fantastic. First person in today was Hermione and Fluffy, so I guess that counts as 2 people, or is that 2 people? Fluffy is a person, isn't it? Anyway, Fluffy is a cat. There you go, Hermione, and that is all good. And you got your cookies, so awesome and excellent. And let's see, yeah, Fluffy is a person. I guess. But anyway, I'm glad to have you guys all here. And of course, it is Thanksgiving Day. Well, actually, technically, that's tomorrow. Stromboli erupted with pyroclasts, pyroclastic flows. We will get to that. I did see that from Sue, that little thing that she showed me. I was trying to scramble and find, of course, the last seconds here, trying to find if I can get Stromboli on the screen. And it's one of those things when you're trying to do things very quickly. It's very, very difficult to try to appease everyone very quickly. So anyway, that is the view from Stromboli right this minute. So we'll leave that on the screen while I say hello to everyone. And that is what is happening there right now in Sicily. And we can see the very, very large plume coming out of Stromboli, and also the lava. And it looks a little bit weird because that almost looks like that lava is going uphill on that thermal cam. I don't know if that's just me looking at it the funny way, but that's kind of what it appears to be doing, even though it's actually flowing downward. So yeah, that's quite a bit of a blast out of there. I don't know if that camera is actually moving or frozen or what the heck is going on. We're not seeing, yeah, it is moving, I guess, slowly, but it's doing its thing. So must be the clouds there. Anyway, we'll get to saying hello to everyone while that is on there, and we'll start out with Mars 2028, welcome, and also Anna Wallner, Kevin, and Kevin Haynes, and Kate is here, Sherry Hewitt. Sherry, I did promise that I would give you the email address. You've got your pen ready. It is Dr. Fox, as in DrFox, at shaw.ca, and that is shaw.ca. Hopefully you got that, Sherry, and I'll check and see if you got it afterwards here. But anyway, go up the ladder here a little bit more. Welcome to Alba Girl. Of course, we already said hi to Hermione since she got the cookies, as well as Fluffy. Welcome, Sue Hayes. Henry Nelson in the house. Good to see you. OFU Lux from Luxembourg is back. Welcome. And Alba Girl, I think we got you there. John, I think we already got you too. King Colin Deadman also here. Rick Van Ejek, welcome. And going up some more, looking for others. We got Anna, we got Mars 2028, we got welcome, and going up some more here. Old Mummy of Hamsters saying welcome, Uncle Doc, thank you. And all right, going up a little bit more, looking for more names. We really don't have that many people in here today. At least not yet, and we'll see what we can come up with here if the numbers go up a little bit more. Ken Wilson, welcome. Glad to have you on board. John, we got going up a little more. A lot of chatting going on, which is absolutely good for the channel. That's what we like to see, people interacting, and you know, it makes for a better, friendly community. Storm Chaser 1211 also in the house. Welcome back. And going up a little more, we got Old Mummy of Hamsters. We got Kate. Sherry, we got Arliss Scott. Welcome. If I didn't see your name already. Echo the Bot is here. Welcome, Echo. Glad to have you on board. And going up a little bit more. Looking for other names really quickly now. And Tetra, welcome Tetra, glad to have you back. And that is it. I'm all the way to the top, and we're good for right now. So as far as I could get up there anyway. Tom Dice also in the house. Welcome, Tom. Good to see you. And Sandra Rockland just popped in. Welcome, Sandra. Duchess of Elements is here as well. Good to see you, Duchess. And let's see, did we have any others sneaking in? I think we're good for right now. Anyway, as you see on your screen, Stromboli is definitely in a very, very eruptive state right now. And we can see it pluming up very, very nicely there, as well as the lava flow, looking at it going down the hill here. And I'm sure it'll stop looking like it's flowing upward, but I think what's happening is the wind current is taking some of that hot air and moving it back up the hill, and that's what's making it look somewhat odd. If we watch this, we'll actually see the lava going up. And you see where the mouse is. I haven't moved the mouse, and it looks like it's retracting. It's kind of weird looking. And that is really, truly a trick of the camera in a way, showing that. It's just the heat as it dissipates. Let's see, a couple more people popped in. Chuckster, good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while. And let's see, who else? Chantel, welcome from South Africa. Wow, that is awesome. And we do have people from all over the world watching this stream a lot of the times, but typically we don't get too many from South Africa. Hi everybody. Chantel, if you didn't know, we are a fairly good group in here, and they don't mind talking to each other, and we don't mind having new people in and enjoying the volcano stuff. We call it the lava family, and it is really truly a great bunch of people that do come and patronize this particular stream. So hats off to all of them, and they are really, really good people. Daryl R made it in as well. Good to see you, Daryl. And okay, Sherry, I just got your email, and just want to see. And all right. Okay, cool. That looks kind of nice. Let's see if we can post that. I'll have to save it somewhere first. Give me a second or two. And got to rename it. And we'll see what we can do there. So, okay, saved it. We'll see if we can load it right away as well, and see what we can do. So thanks, Sherry. And so Sherry, you said it was your daughter that painted that thing. It was my birthday present. Oh wow, that is awesome. And happy is it your birthday today, or that was a little while ago, wasn't it? Anyway, I don't know when your birthday was, so let's see. I'm gonna pull that picture up real quick. So this was a painting for Sherry from her daughter as a present, and we're going to show it here. Let me see if I can get this turned around the right way. I don't know why it. No, go back. All right, it's being stubborn. There we go. And now we're gonna try to do that. So okay, and so that is Siggy, the Siggy vent, and that is pretty awesome. Nice job on the volcano, and very very good looking stuff there. So hats off, and wow. You got yourself a decent painting, and all beautiful looking there, Sherry. Oh, it was last Tuesday. Okay, I got it. As far as your birthday. Okay. So, anyway, yeah, very, very nice looking, and we do like that. So, yeah, you're fortunate, and just need to get you to find the right place to put it on the wall. That would be really, really nice. Okay, well, I'll leave that be for right now, but it does look awesome, and tell your daughter, well done. Okay, so that is cool. Okay, and on that note, let's get back looking at Stromboli. It is doing its job erupting. While I have that screen open, I do want to bring up another shot that we had here, and let's see if I can find it. Where did it go? Oh, hang on. It might be in the other folder. Let's see if we can locate that real quick. Stromboli starts with an S, so we should be able to find it there somewhere. Okay, there it is. So this one was another shot there from earlier, I guess, from 7:24 in the morning. That is what Stromboli was looking like. So the stuff we're seeing now, of course, is the continuation of this particular eruption. And that does look pretty nasty, you guys. So definitely some extra bacon coming out of Stromboli, and that is pretty awesome to be able to share that with all of you guys. Thank you, Sue, for sending me that link, and that is very, very cool. So gotta love it, and yep, that is it is terrific, Tefra, and everything else included, the wonderful gases and lava and the whole 9 yards. So awesome, and again, thanks, Sue. And again, this is what it's looking like there right now. It does look like the smoke is drifting towards the camera, and that is kind of hindering our view somewhat, but you know, even when you're looking at the thermal image, you can see that it is starting to get covered up. We're not seeing the stuff up in this area at all, and that should be right in here where we're seeing that large pluming area, but that smoke is kind of hiding everything. Unfortunately, unfortunately, we don't have a better view of Stromboli since the other guys don't want to play nice. You know the ones I'm talking about. Anyway, I'll leave that be. Okay, I'm popping over back into our Icelandic theater. Let's take a look there. I'm going to actually stop this canned lava. Lots of that can left there, so I figured I'd use it today again. But that's kind of where we're at with it. And let's see if I can actually find the right screens and take you over to Iceland. And that is kind of the view right now. It's been a hazy day there in Iceland. Let me get rid of that big VolcanoX thing and that. Okay. So that is what it was looking like right now, and that is live from Reykjavik. If we go back in the earlier times of the day here, we can see that it does have a very hazy appearance to the day. So they probably have higher humidity levels and stuff like that going on. Popping over to some of the other cameras. They did move this one. Normally, this was looking at the aluminum smelting plant, but they moved it today. Actually, earlier it was looking at the aluminum smelting plant, and that's what it looked like right there. And you can see the ocean is fairly rough, doing its thing. A lot of big white caps on there. The mountain that you see in the foreground, Kaleir, and that is an old volcano. And then, of course, you can see the top of Ragnar in the back here, which is pretty awesome to be able to see. But what they did do is they moved it, the camera, and they moved it to this shot as soon as it comes up, and right there. So that is what they were showing. And they wanted to show the mountains off behind there, and the amount of snow that has fallen onto those mountains. Of course, winter is coming, so that is what it is. She wants to be an instructor. Awesome, Sherry. I was watching the harbor cam in Iceland earlier. It was super windy. The wind was whipping up the water like crazy. Absolutely, Chantel, and very, very windy there, unfortunately. But that is Iceland. It's like that. You know, when I was there, it was windy, and I don't think there were too many of my days that didn't have any wind. I think majority of them had a wind, so pretty nice. And Duchess says, I hope Iceland has another eruption soon. I do too. I really do. Would be nice. And welcome to Robert and Chandel. Glad to have you guys on board. Anyway, that is what it was looking like there. And unfortunately, right now in the live view of that, we don't see the mountain in the background, but that is, of course, Reykjavik, the capital city, from the Perlin Center, and that's what we've got. Looking at the other shot here, like I said, it was kind of a hazy, yucky day, so trying to play with trying to find the good shots is a little bit difficult. You can see the ice fields up on the hills here. Of course, back there is where Katla is, the volcano Katla, and unfortunately, with all that hazy cloud in the way, very, very difficult to see anything that was happening there. They did have rain earlier as well. Let's see, this might be a better shot here with a little less, yeah, about the same. I was going to say a little less cloud, but it's really no different. We do see the snowpack up on the hills, And of course, that is a big ice sheet, or basically turned into glacier type material up on the top. So pretty awesome to see that. And again, you can see the camera shaking a little bit. That is because of the wind, and nothing we can do to stop that. Iceland is a very windy place. If you want to put a wind turbine there, you probably have very good success. And that is just one of those things. Like I say, it is tremendously windy there. And if a person wanted to set up a wind turbine, you'd have awesome power going out of there. So in addition to geothermal, I think they could very much so get away with having a bunch of wind turbines in addition to their geothermal stuff going on. The views and quality of the volcano in Iceland is great. Hope to see another spectacular show soon. I hope so too, Duchess. And that is something that, we can only keep our fingers crossed that we have an eruption in another one of those safe places where nobody is going to lose anything, nobody gets hurt, and that kind of thing. And that's always important. Of course, we don't want it in a place where everybody has to walk too many miles to be able to get to the cameras, to the volcano. And, oh, hi, Yvonne Kunkel. Oh, good to have you on board, Yvonne. Been a while since we seen you, and very nice to have you back in here. And hopefully everything is good for you. So, anyway, for those who don't know, Yvonne, of course, is a volcanologist, and she does love us and the lava family. So she comes here quite a bit. Anyway, let's take a look at our harmonic tremor chart and see what we've got going on. I need to get to the right page. Gonna refresh this since I was still stuck on yesterday. And of course, we have seen the upward trend, and then of course it crashed back down. Not a surprise, and that is where we are at right now. So no imminent eruption at this point in time, unfortunately. We do want to take a quick peek at Grimsey as well as looking at Grindavik. So sliding down a little bit here, looking for the Grimsey chart. And there is the Grimsey chart, and that is interesting to see it on a rise. And I'm wondering if perhaps we're going to see something pop up there in Grimsey. I don't know what the energy levels are like today in there, but we are certainly seeing the chart being up fairly high. That could be an indicator of something going on. But then again, let's not hold our breath, because we've seen that before, right? It goes up, and then all of a sudden it decides to, hey, go right back down. But that's what we've got there at Grimsey. Of course, that is up on the northern end of the island. Well, not even on the island. It's actually its own little island, and in the north of Iceland itself. And of course, that is at the kind of the opposite end from Fagradalfjall or Grindavik. And let's take a look at the Grindavik chart real quick. And we see it doing its thing. And for the most part, it looks like it is on a downward trend there as well. So that's kind of what's happening as far as the tremor charts and everything are showing. Let's go over and have a quick look at how many earthquakes we've got there. And again, I do have to find the stuff. Did have to reboot the computer again, so it's just one of those things. It's updates is what it is. And I don't know why Windows has to have so many updates. It really drives me crazy. I guess they got to fix the issues in their updates that they messed up, right? you know. Anyway, the island of Grimsey, let's actually just back out for a whole bunch there. There you can see the entire Iceland, and there's our number of quakes in the last 24 hours, which is really not that high. 41 quakes, so that is actually quite low, considering what we've got. Yep, that's Windows. Yeah, it is. We can't fight those guys either. Anyway, let's run through some of these. At 4:09 a.m., a magnitude 1.33 and 9.8 kilometers down for that guy. At 10 minutes after midnight, we had a 1.3, 10.3 kilometers down, going down to the south east of Grimsey. There's Grimsey, by the way, the island. And anyway, 11:33 a.m., 1.69, 10.5, 10.005. There's that number again, kilometers down. And there it is again, magnitude 1.35 from 48 minutes after midnight. And there's another one, same depth, 41 minutes after midnight, 1.09 in magnitude. Then we had 1.38, again, same depth, 12 minutes after midnight. We have this 1.41 in magnitude, same depth, 22:48 yesterday. And then, of course, another one from yesterday at 21:04, and that was 1.27 in magnitude, same 10.005 kilometers down. Odd number, but I'm surprised they're all at that same depth. Sliding down a little bit more, we do see this guy right here, 1.1, 2.26 kilometers down, 3:29 a.m. for him. And looking at the other stuff here, we have this guy, 1.1, 7.7 kilometers down from today at 18:55. Moving down a little more, looking at Astja, a whole little cluster here at Astja, and this is always interesting when we get clusters in Astja. Astja is one of those volcanoes that could easily pop with even just a few quakes happening there. Anyway, this is from 4:01 a.m., 1.93, and it is 3.7 kilometers down for that guy. This little 0.54, 4.6 kilometers down, 5:25 a.m., 4:16 a.m. for this 0.28, 5.6 kilometers down. We've got a 0.47, 5.6 kilometers down from 5:46. Then there's also this one, 0.49, 7:20 a.m., 5.8 kilometers down. And then 0.37, 5.4 kilometers down, 9:56 a.m., 0.52 in magnitude, 4.4 kilometers down, 4:22. And we'll go over here, grab these little ones as well. 0.16, 6.4 kilometers down, 3:47 a.m. for that guy. And this 0.28, 4.6 kilometers down, 42 minutes after midnight. Not sure if I got this 0.54 here, 4.6 clicks down, 5:25 a.m. That's in our Astja area, and that is what they call it. And we'll see what happens in the future. Looks like this one is right around Bardabunga, and that is from 6:59 a.m. 0.96. Yeah, boy, if it was a 9, there wouldn't be much left of Iceland. Anyway, 0.96 in magnitude, and 144 meters down, and that is basically what we refer to as a surface quake there somewhere. That's very interesting. And then we have one over by Grimsvatn, and that is this one here, 0.9, 2.6 kilometers down, 1:55 a.m. for him. Sliding out a little bit more, we see a 0.76, 2.7 kilometers down from yesterday at 21:47. and looking for others. We don't see anything at Katla today. Hekla doesn't have anything at it either. Very small ones here, 1.3 kilometers down from 1742 for that. This one is Dr. Fox. A 9 is a bigger quake for, yeah, if we had a 9 in Iceland, Iceland would probably break apart, Yvonne. That was my bad. It was a 0.9. Yeah, decimal 9, not 9. I know, it's bad. That was just my trough mumbles, words mixed. Anyway, words mixed. For anyone who wants to know. Yep, little oops. Yeah, if seriously, a 9 would be devastating. I think even a 6 would be devastating for Iceland, but a 9 would really, really mess things up. That would really kill things there. And being volcanic, I think we'd see more than just one volcano pop if we had a 9. Anyway, from 1938, this magnitude point is 7, 5.1 kilometers down, getting a little closer to our Reykjanes Peninsula. There's the actual peninsula, and we'll try to finish this off before the break. I see that. Thanks, Henry. And there's a 1.05, 7.6 kilometers down from 1120 or 1152, 0.66 from 6.3 kilometers down from yesterday, 2105, and then he's got a he's got a 1 point something underneath him. There we go. Try that again. 1.01, 6.1 kilometers down from yesterday at 2054. Sliding over a little bit more over here by Kristevik, 1.83, and it is 4.444 kilometers down from yesterday, 2100. And what we'll do is I think we'll save these other ones here in our Fragadalfjall area, and we'll take a look at those after the break, you guys. So that is pretty cool, and we'll check back to Stromboli here for a second. That is the current view from Stromboli. I think maybe what I'll do is I'll leave it on there for the break, and let you guys be able to see that, since that is the current eruption going on there. Unfortunately, we don't have any better views of Stromboli, and yeah, Yvonne gives it a thumbs up. She likes Stromboli. It's always doing its thing. So anyway, I will go take that break. For those good people who are here, if you have not yet hit that like button, please help us out and give it a quick shot. Also, if you're new, sitting on the sidelines, and you like the show, please do hit that subscribe button and the bell notification as well. That way you always know when our stream is on. And on that friendly note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I will be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. Going to take a little bit of a break here and save my voice. I'll be back, you guys. Keep smiling. Thank you. we go. Microphone is back on. Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you on board. And nice to be here. Thank you for the welcome backs from Alba Girl and Sue and Yvonne and Kevin and John and Mars and Hermia and Sherry. Okay, and welcome Peter Greenlees. Good to see you there. And welcome Grandma B. Thanks. And Duchess and Colin. All right. All awesome. Anyway, I did switch it. Our view there of Stromboli was getting pretty bad. So I figured I'd pop it over to this scene, since Katla in the background there in the ice fields is a little bit more viewable right now, or well, it was earlier in the morning, but it's not so viewable now. But anyway, let's carry on with where we left off. And of course, that was, we were dealing with the earthquakes there in Iceland on the Reykjanes Peninsula. And the question did come up, and I did post the little factoid there. The largest quake that was ever recorded in Iceland since the year 1900 was a 6.9, and that is the maximum quake size that they had recorded. And I don't know if it would be anything higher than that ever. We really don't know. And like I was mentioning earlier, if they had something the size of a 9, we would really see a big problem there. But even a 6.9 or just about a 7, that is a huge quake, and that would be detrimental to buildings, infrastructure, everything, and really cause major problems. So I don't believe the buildings are built for that strong of a quake. I know they have certain building codes there, but it would definitely not be so good. So that is kind of what we're looking at. Anyway, let's zoom in and take a look at the other ones here. We kind of looked at these already, and we wanted to see what we have in our Fagradalsfjall area. And most of the activity is up in the northern portions. There's Kaleir up there, and we did see a couple of small ones, 0.56, 3.2 kilometers down for that guy, 3:33 a.m. for him. The other one was at 3:32 a minute earlier, 5.6 as well, 2.8 kilometers down for him. Sliding down a little bit more, very small, 0.29 here, 2.4 kilometers down was actually from yesterday at 23:21. And zooming back out a little bit, you can kind of see where we're at. There's our Siggy fissure right there, and of course the chain of fissures where Ragnar would be down here, and that is pretty awesome. Anyway, let's take a look at these other 3 or 4 that we've got here. 0.65, 10.9 kilometers down, quite deep. What? M9 and Bob would show up again. Oh yeah, Yvonne, I think Bob would show up and Ragnar at the same time, and you would probably see Flo and Siggy and a few other ones. The original Fagradalsfjall will pop up, as well as Kaleir. So yeah, if that was the case, I think we'd have some major stuff going on there. Anyway, this 0.65 was from 4:47 a.m., 10.9 kilometers down, very deep. Then we have another 0.94 and 5.1 kilometers down, 7:58 a.m. for that guy. And that is what's to the north. And of course, that area is what seems to be the shallow spot for the most part when we see it. But you never know. Things can change, and we may see something in the future happening there. Let's grab these other ones here. 0.42, 4.1 kilometers down, 6:24 a.m., that is getting very close to the town of Grindavik. This one a little closer to the Blue Lagoon, and this is where the Blue Lagoon is, right here, and the power plant, and Yvonne's favorite hotel where she stays when she's in Iceland. And then we have this one here from 7:45 a.m. 0.41, 4.68 kilometers down, and not very big. And looking at the other one here is from 13:55, 0.54, 3.5 kilometers down, and then we go into the water, 3.6 kilometers down, and that is at 4:13 a.m. And then we get out into the water area here, and it's interesting that this LD area is continuing to show quakes, and it always seems that they seem to be in kind of a diagonal position on the map here compared to the other ones. You'd think they'd follow the actual split in the between the two plates, but they go across the other way, which is really interesting to me. Anyway, 0.94 from this guy, it is 9.095 kilometers down, 26 minutes after midnight for him. Then we have 1.84, 9.8 kilometers down, and that was at 2:35 in the morning. 0.95, 10.7 kilometers down, 1:31 a.m. And did we miss one of these? 1.78 and 9.4 kilometers down, 27 minutes after midnight. And that's all we see right there. So that is it for Iceland as far as the earthquakes are concerned. I just wanted to have a quick peek at the other map here. And let's get over there for a second. Oh, we need it to repopulate. Come on, map. All right, there it goes. Okay, the other area that we always look at is right in here. And I'm waiting for my screen to catch up. I see an earthquake over in Greece, and that is fairly big. This one here, no quakes today, or not showing up here for the last 24 hours. And of course, there's our Rikens Ridge all the way down. And at the bottom end here, when that pops and starts making new land, we're going to call it rabbit land, and of course we're going to sell the lots accordingly for a nominal fee. So it'll be all right. Anyway, just a quick shot here. I want to see how big this one is. 5.2 in Greece. That happened at 16:02. That was actually yesterday, so interesting to see that one there. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't over in cost, and poor Piggy would be in perils if that was underneath where she is. Anyway, let's carry on with looking at the other volcanoes around the world. We'll take you over to this is the Azores, and of course we're headed down the actual mid-Atlantic ridge a little bit, and there we go. We can see it. We are on the island of São Jorge, and off in the distance there you can see some of the lights on Pico Island. It is a little bit rough weather there, some clouds in the way. Anyway, for those people who aren't familiar with this shot, right there is a harbor. It's all lit up, and a small section of town. Typically, what I do is I show you these other pictures, just so you get a little bit of an idea of what it looks like. This is one of them. There's the harbor and the small town area. The big volcano on the other side that you see, that is Pico Volcano, or they call it Mount Montana over there. I don't know why, but it's Pico Volcano on Pico Island, and that helps you out a little bit. And then the other one, if I'm redoing the right one here, let's see, copy, remove, paste, and we'll get it up on the top here. Whoa, and that's not the one I wanted. I wanted the other one. It's one of those days, you guys. And okay, third time is the charm, maybe. There. All right, now I'm confused. Why am I not seeing the right one? Um, okay, something happened to my other picture. Anyway, I was supposed to have a picture of the other bay that I was going to show, and it didn't show up. Anyway, let's go there. Oh, hey, look at that moon. That is pretty awesome. Anyway, we have this little shot of the bay here. And typically what we're looking for is the white water coming in to see how rough the ocean is. I see the waves are breaking fairly far out. So it might be fairly rough there. I don't know. Didn't see it during the day today. So a little bit off as far as knowing what's going on there. Anyway, let's take a look at the earthquakes that we have. And it does show 4 quakes. And let me get that screen bigger. There we go. And this is a 1.6 at 2:34 a.m. And then a 2.1 at 9:52 a.m. And then we have a 1.7 from 1628. And we also have a 1.5 from 1652. Those are the ones that are right on Sao George. And that is kind of what we're seeing. But let's have a look at the other map, and I'm going to have to refresh that one again because we have more quakes than I seen earlier. And there we go. We'll make it nice and big. We can see what's going on. We see this one here 21 hours ago, a 2.2, and that is getting a lot closer to our continental Europe and Africa. So that is where that is. And of course, Terceira is the island right there. That is Sao George. And this is where there's another little swarm of activity. And we see multiple earthquakes there. 9 hours ago, 2.8 for that guy. 20 hours ago, 2.3. 14 hours ago, 2.2. 8 hours ago, 2.3, 7 hours ago, 2.5, and another 2.3 from 14 hours ago. That's what we're seeing out there. And this is Pico Island. There is a Pico volcano, Fayal Island, and that is where that is located. And of course, zooming back into our Sao George, that is what we've got right there. 11 hours ago for that 2.4. They've got different values for these. 4 hours ago 1.7, 18 hours ago 1.6, and then way over here 4 hours ago 1.5. And we'll take a look and see how deep these things are as far as the depths are concerned. So looking at some of the ones that are right in the ocean, they are definitely down a little ways. 11 kilometers for that 2.3, 2.8, 9 kilometers down. The one underneath Sao George, that's 2.4, the bigger one, 9 kilometers down. And then we also see this guy here, 2.3, 5 kilometers down, 2.0, 5 kilometers down. And next one on Sao George, surface quake for that 1.6. And then the other one in the water as well, 5 kilometers down for that last 2.3. So that's what's going on there. Hey, welcome, Leo. Glad to have you on board, and good to see you. Let's leave our wonderful Azores be, and that is cool for now. And let me switch that back so I know when I look for it, I can find it again. There we go. And let us go to our next one. And of course, I'll have to take a look and see what it looks like there. Yep, volcano gray. So that's the screen I'm going to scan for, and I found it. And there we are. You'll never guess. Yes, it is Popocatépetl. And as we go back in time here, looking to see if we have some visibility on it at all today. It's pretty slim looking. Oh, we did find a spot where we can see it, and that is at 6:38 a.m. And that is, of course, Popocatépetl, and that is 70 kilometers south of Mexico City. And right now the weather down there is pretty nasty. So for the most part, everything is in clouds, and that makes things a little bit difficult to see anything there. As we got into the daytime, just to move ahead a little bit, there you can kind of see what we're looking at. It's just horrible, horrible weather. Let's take a look at the other shot. This one is from the other side, but we did have a little bit of a view of it earlier, about 4 hours and 18 minutes ago, and there we go. We can see some of the off-gassing on top here, but it's really difficult to tell what was really happening for the most part because of the other clouds being so close around it. This is moved back to 8:42 a.m. at their time. You can see that upward plume, but you can also see all the other clouds moving in. So a little on the rough side, and that is about it. Actually, yeah, here's one that looks a little bit better. You can kind of see exactly what's coming out of the volcano. 6:55 a.m. So it definitely is continuing to plume. The thing that I don't see there is snow, and that is a good sign. No snow on the top of Popocatépetl right now. If we, oh, hang on, that might be a good shot to look at. Let's go back a little bit more. There you go. This is a moonlit shot from 3:10 a.m. and you can see it does have some ejecta or off-gassing happening at that point in time, but we should be able to see a little bit of an eruption here in a second or two. There it comes. So I'm going to advance that just 5 seconds at a time to expedite the process here. And of course, that is a moonlit Popocatépetl, and that is pretty awesome, you guys. And thanks, Henry, for throwing the Pepsis in there, letting me know it is time for the break. So yep, that is what we were seeing at Popocatépetl, and that is pretty awesome at 3:15 a.m. All right, let me throw you back over to some other lava. First, we're going to check. Oh, well, I'll leave it on Stromboli since we can kind of sort of see it. It is live, and there is lava bacon going down the hill. And on that friendly note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. If you haven't hit that like button yet, please help us out and give it a quick bop. Also, if you're sitting on the sidelines, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button if you feel we've earned it. On that friendly note, I will be back in about 5 minutes or thereabouts with our wonderful bacon seeds. And we'll go from there. Thanks, everyone. Stick around. More to come. right, the microphone is back on, and of course I swing things around here because I don't have this song on the other one, so I gotta fix that. And actually, we're gonna fix that right now. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go back over to Stromboli, and we'll paste it there, so I can do it from that site when it comes time. And hopefully it won't play. There we go. I got it in place, and that'll be good next time we get there. So all cool. And of course, that is Stromboli over in Sicily, and it is continuing to erupt. And of course, it is famous for what's referred to as a Strombolian style eruption, and that is pretty awesome. We do see the thermal cam came back on. The lava is flowing down the hill. And thank you, everyone, for the welcome backs from Albagirl and John and Sue and Leo and Yvonne. And Yvonne is going, huh? Isn't that a Strombolian eruption? Isn't that what we call that? Oh. You're the expert, Yvonne. You tell me. Is that what it is? And if it really takes off, though, it could be detrimental to the people on the island. And that is kind of scary in a way. Stromboli is not in Sicily. Okay, fine. It's, well, I did say Italy as well. So Stromboli is really on its own little island there. Starts with E. I can't remember the name of it, but it is kind of in. I call it no man's land, in between Italy and Sicily. So, who actually has possession of it? Is it Italy or is it Sicily? That is a good question, isn't it? And Yvonne might know that since she has to show passports when she gets there, right? Oh, I don't know if you even have to show passports down there. Everybody's like, oh, you're a tourist or you're doing something, and just go, spend lots of money, and we're happy. Anyway, that is pretty awesome looking, but it is bacon seed time, so let's get over to that. And we will take a look. Oh yeah, sure. Passports too. Okay. Yeah. So you got to show your passport to and say, I'm a tourist. I'm looking at the volcano, and they'll let you in, right? And they'll say how much money you got, and you say lots, and they say welcome. Here's our first bacon seed. The one we just looked at there was from yesterday, last one. And this is the first one from today. And we still are working on that hogwash. And this one definitely needs to be in the hogwash. He looks like he or she has a very dirty snout, and some dirty trotters. We'll see what we get here on the next one. And there we go. This one doesn't look like a hogwash needed. Maybe not till he finishes eating, then he might need that. Google says Stromboli is in Italy. There we go. And yeah, Italy. It's in no man's land. It's on its own island. If it wasn't for Stromboli, that island would not exist, right? So there we go. Anyway, pretty awesome. And yep, a watermelon. I like watermelon, and so does that little bacon seed. Next bacon seed picture, of course, is one that is kind of a fall scene, and these are what we refer to as Spock pigs. They have those big ears, pointy big ears that stick up. So we like that. That is a pretty awesome shot, and very, very nice. And let's see, ankle nippers. Yeah, they could be. Actually, John, I know a fella who Vulcan pigs. Yep. I know a fellow who was out on one of the pig farms, and he got bit by one of them, and it wasn't an ankle, and he was very lucky that it was the chunk of a thigh that it removed healed over. Okay, put it that way. It wasn't pleasant. Anyway, next one is this guy, and I think this guy is pretty cute looking in a barrel. Now this is where you get pigs in a barrel, and that guy's got some wonderful gourds hanging around the outside, and pretty nice. So awesome to see. And let's get on to our next one, and that is this guy. He loves pumpkins, and you too can love your pumpkin just like that. And that one doesn't look like it's starving either. Look at the size of that belly. Anyway, pretty awesome and cool. Yeah, pumpkin pusher, you bet. That is exactly what we're seeing. And our last bacon seed for today is these guys, and look at that. The one on the left is getting a cat massage, and the other ones are waiting for their massage as well from the kitty. So that looks pretty cool, pretty awesome. And yep, cat massage. They have to pay extra for that, you know that, eh? All right, let's, since we see that, we do have to do a couple things there. Oh, somebody's carving pumpkins. Okay. Tail. The one with the long tail. Yep, that's the cat. In case you didn't know. Anyway, speaking of other things, we do have some other fun pictures here. Just 3 of them, but we'll throw that on there just so you have an idea. These are some of the carved pumpkins that are out there, and this one is a really nice shot. It looks like a couple of horses, and in a night scene, so very, very cool to be able to see that. That looks really, really cool. What did Daryl say? And that was so good. My pigs bite me, and they are bacon, and I bite back. There you go. And anyway, let's get to the next special shot here. And I think that was a very, very unique little picture. And of course, we all know that's a pumpkin with a baby in it. And so when that pumpkin gives birth, I don't know, do they call it a pumpkin? Boy, that poor kid's going to get harassed all its life being a pumpkin. Anyway, let's carry on. And here's the last one of the special bacon seeds, or special pictures there, fun seeds, if you will, or fun pictures. And that one is a wolf howling at the moon, and a very, very awesome shot. And that is all we've got on these wonderful shots for today. And I do want to say a big, big thank you to Piggy. If you're sitting in the background listening, Piggy, thank you very kindly for sending these in. You are just an absolutely amazing person, and please don't ever forget that. You do an impeccable job at sending these, finding these and sending them to me. So I do want to say thank you. Really, I do. And that's awesome. Thanks, Piggy. Okay, let's carry on with our volcano stuff. The next one on our list, of course, was supposed to be Fuego. So let me see if I can find the flickering screen. I was looking to see if we could find a fuego out of the clouds somewhere, and so far I was unable to, and we may not be able to see a fuego at all. And it doesn't look like there's any chance to be able to see it today. So, no fuego, sorry you guys. And also not seeing any Momotombo from Nicaragua. That's also not showing, nor is Messiah. Okay, these are all, what the heck is going on? How come nobody's got pictures today? Oh, there we go. That is Momotombo. Wow, we do see that favorite color of ours, volcano gray. And that is the one that we can't do anything about. That one did show up. That's still the old picture, though, from the 29th of September. And that one did show up now as well. It doesn't say what time that picture is from, but you can't see anything anyway. So really, I'm not going to make a big difference for us when we can't see it. So there we go. Sliding over to our next area of interest is Merapi, and Merapi, of course, located in central Java in Indonesia, and that is what we've got on the screen right now. That is live. We'll see if we can go back a little bit and see if there was any decent other shots here. There it is. Okay. Of any bacon or lava going down the hill. And again, it was in and out of the clouds for the most part. This is when it was about 3.5 hours ago, roughly. Not that great of a picture, but it was in the clouds prior to that. And there's a shot here. Very difficult to tell what's going on in this particular scene, if that is actually, lightning, if that's actually from the volcano, or if that's just clouds zipping by. And that is kind of interesting there. Backing up a little bit more, looking for other shots here, and we do have more lightning popping. It does look like it may be coming from the volcano. But also, like I say, they are having some awesome storms down there, so very, very hard to tell. And the other shot here, you kind of see it a little bit better, but still not really, really all that cool. Wow, big time lightning. Don't walk around there with a big umbrella, okay? And that is not good. And well, I'll leave that one as is. Let's pop over to our wonderful New Zealand, and we'll see. Oh, nice shot. And there we go. That is Mount Ruapehu. And of course, Mount Ruapehu, snow-covered and still showing very, very well. The snow line seems to be heading back up. We are starting to see more black exposures all over the place, so that snow is melting slowly. But it did have that extra snow a couple of days ago that we were witness to, and it definitely got a little bit. Mars 2028 says, I'm going to the lurkers for a while. Okay, not a problem, Mars. Be good, and keep your eyes peeled. You never know, we might see something. Anyway, I'll yell if we do. And yep, it definitely does look good, Yvonne. That is a very, very nice looking volcano. And again, for those people who weren't familiar with what we've got there, that was the caldera up top on Mount Ruapehu. And that is that lake that's up in there. And when that stuff starts to steam and boil and bubble, then we know it's going to be trouble. I know, that was a nice rhyme. Anyway, carrying on, let's put that back over there, and I'm going to put that back on live so I know where I am. And we'll take a look at the other one. And of course, this is live from Krakatau, and Krakatau being in West Java. And I'm trying to get onto that screen so I can see it. There we go. And again, when we're looking at our chart here, we see some big spikes on occasion, but it does look like it's kind of leveling out again a little bit. And of course, in the picture here, you can see the plume heading off. And I'm not sure the actual direction. That looks like maybe southwest, but I may be wrong with that. And looking at that, though, looking interesting. And of course, the caldera is from this side, from about here to about here, is where the actual caldera sits, just behind that edge or lip of the top of the mountain or crater. Anyway, that's where it is. You do see that off-gassing heading upward right there, so that is pretty cool. And if we back that shot out and take a look at that whole screen that they're showing, they do have some of the other ones. Down on the bottom left is Gamma Llama. And Gamma Llama, I'm not sure where it's located, but it definitely is continuing to do what it needs to do. And then the other shot right in here, that is Semeru. So Gamma Llama and Semeru. And I'm not sure where they're actually looking. Semeru might be in the back here. And for the life of me, I still cannot read this one. It is absolutely horrible that it is so small. Looks like TANGK something, something urban. But anyway, that is one of the calderas, and on occasion we see it acting up as well. So pretty cool to see that. Anyway, let's put it back onto this one, and then that way we know where we left it. Quick peek at the other Semeru shot, and that one I think I have to leave like that. And we don't see a heck of a lot from Semeru there, but we did have, we wanted to show this here. Let's see, where shall we start? Once it comes out of the clouds, right about there. And this is kind of interesting. The picture was out of focus, but they were zoomed in. And of course, one of the problems when you have clouds that are closer, the camera, if it's set on autofocus, it will try to focus on the closer item rather than the one that is at a further distance. And that is what's happened here. If we go ahead a little bit, they did improve the focus, and that is what you're seeing at 2:55 a.m. there, and that is a little while ago, but that is already on Monday the 10th, which is in the future, and in my future anyway. So, of course, being across the international date line, there are already ahead of things. We do see the bacon flowing down the actual hill, and that is pretty awesome to see for a change. And of course, you can see the caldera there, fairly nice. And Alba going. Alba says, thank you for the great stream. Thank you, mods and lavaliers. I'm going to sleep. See you all next weekend. Alba girl, take care, and all the best to you. Hey, Tom Sawyers, what's up at the bottom right? Okay, the bottom right screen is basically, that is one of their, since they don't have a lot of bridges and infrastructure there in the Philippines, they basically, the government doesn't put a lot of money in because of the low taxes and stuff like this, so they don't put a lot of build a lot of bridges, and this happens to be right in here. This is one of the flow areas when they have major rains and major eruptions. This will handle some of the lahar style flows as well as some of the rainwater that comes down. And this, of course, is the road that goes through it from one side of the valley to the other side. And they do have people down here directing traffic and taking turns. Sometimes it gets pretty deep in here, and they don't allow traffic to go through. But that is what's going on there for those people who aren't familiar with that particular scene. But yeah, that river or creek or whatever you want to call it, on occasion when they do have lahars flowing off of the mountain, that is where it'll really get rough, and it'll really wash out any kind of a low-level bridge that they would put in there. And of course they have a tremendous amount of earthquakes and stuff like that, so to put a proper infrastructure in is a lot of money, and that's kind of what they're looking at there. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense to you. You can see it a little bit better right now, so you can see as that vehicle goes down the hill, there's the water in the bottom, light lit up, and they drive right through that and then come up the other side. The other day it was quite rainy and muddy, and they were all getting stuck coming up on the hillside there. So that's what we're seeing. And of course on this side we are seeing our wonderful lava coming out of that thing. I want to see if we can spot when it actually popped out of there, but I think it might have been in clouds at the time. Yeah, here, this is earlier. This is around 1:01 a.m. We still see that lava flow there. And a little bit earlier here, we might, this might be good. Yeah, that was out of focus at that point as well. Unfortunately, not good. And, well, let's see what we got here. That was just prior to them zooming in. And let's see if we can find a little bit earlier yet. That is when they first zoomed in and gave us some close-ups there. And of course it was raining earlier as well, so it made it a little bit tough for some of those guys. As you probably noticed, it was very light there at that point in time, and that is 22:15, or about 10 or 15 minutes after 10 p.m. There. And of course a moonlit night, so fairly bright out. And yeah, bad camera. And from yesterday, let's see if we can see anything more that is worthy of looking at. And the rest was basically in clouds, so we're not going to worry about that. Anyway, that is what we had there. So pretty cool, pretty awesome. And somebody saying it's Pepsi time. Thank you. And what? Gamma Llama is in Indonesia. Yes, Gamma Llama is in Indonesia. And I know, sounds like a weird name. Gamma Llama. Gamma Llama. We like Gamma Llama. Yep, it is break time. Again, I have to. Yvonne, it's one of those things. If you have a bad throat, we do need to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to leave it on here for a few seconds though, and we'll try and have a look and see what Stromboli is doing. And of course, we'll throw some music on for you guys. So anyone that's in here, if you have not yet hit that like button, please help us out and give it a quick bop. Also, if you're new and you have not yet subscribed, and do your thing, please hit that subscribe button. That would be awesome. And on that friendly note, I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I will be back in, I don't know, about 5 minutes or so. Keep smiling and play nice in the lava. I'll be back. And there we go. Microphone is back on. Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you all on board today. And I see Yvonne is going to bed. Good night, Yvonne. Sleep well, pleasant dreams, and lovely dreams of Stromboli. And of course, on screen, that's what we are seeing right now. Stromboli continuing to do its wonderful Strombolian eruption. And glad to see that. And thank you to Leo and Hermione, and I guess that's all for the welcome backs. Okay, I got it. No worries. I'm double checking. Yeah, we still have people here. Good. That's all good. Anyway, yeah, love seeing Stromboli continue to do its thing, and hopefully, thanks to hopefully it will continue to do a lovely job at what it's got going right now, and we'll check back on it in a little while. Thanks, Sherry, as well there. And let's pop over, and oh, by the way, I kind of said that wrong about time flying. The higher up you are, time flies faster. It's actually the speed you're going is what is relevant. So when you're in orbit, you're like on the International Space Station, they lose, or time is actually passing slower for them by a few microseconds in comparison to people standing on the Earth. And that is part of them going as quickly as they are. So once you get up to the speed of light, or closer to the speed of light, time will start to appear to slow down for you, and that is kind of the way it is. I'm not the one who does the physics. I just kind of watch it, and that is pretty cool. Anyway, yep, Stromboli looking pretty awesome, throwing out quite a plume there. And of course the insert with the thermal, you can see it sliding down the hill. So I'm sure they are seeing some lovely views there for their nighttime shots. And I'm sure some of them will show up in other places. Very awesome to see that, you guys. Okay, let's carry on and see what else we've got on our agenda today here. Quick shot over to our, where is it? Sakurajima. In the clouds, and very difficult to tell what's actually happening at Sakurajima right now. If we go back a couple of hours, of course we end up in the dark, but there is what it was looking like at 5:20 a.m. Moonlit sky. Tops of the clouds are lit up by the moon, creating kind of a silhouette underneath, and very dark area there, so you can't really see a heck of a lot happening. Actually, even a little earlier with some more of that cloud in there, the top is really being lit up, and it almost looks like daylight up top there. You can see some stars though, which is really cool, but very, very difficult to tell what's coming from the volcano. And let's see if we go back a little bit more. This is 6 hours ago, and yeah, it almost looks like daylight out. That is how strong it looks as far as the light from that volcano, or from the moon. So very, very awesome. And let's take a look at the I'm going to put this one back to live. That is the present view, and of course 6:42 a.m. The ice cream boat is in. Actually, both of them are in. So if you guys want to head down, grab an ice cream, you're more than welcome to. Go down the road here, follow that down, turn at the lights, and go down there to the ice cream boats. And that is always fun and a nice thing to have. And yay, ice cream! And we do like ice cream. And of course, this is the close-up shot of the crater of Sakurajima, and unfortunately we can't see a darn thing right now. And let's head over to ASO and ASO is in the clouds, and I kind of suspected that, and we're not going to be able to see it. We can barely see the edges of the parking lot and the road there, but ASO is in the back here somewhere, and as soon as that cloud drifts off, we might see something, but I doubt it. I'm not going to worry about it today. Of course, ASO is still listed as a green, so it's not going to do anything wonderful or erupt at any point in time. No shakers there indicating as such. So I had ice cream with hubby this morning, thanks. Cool. And get it? Cool. All right. I know I'm being punny. If we wait, we might see those clouds actually drift right over, and we'll actually see the volcano. Would that be nice? Give it a few minutes. We'll see what happens. Actually, we'll come back to that in a second. Let's take a look and see if they got this one from Suwanosejima back. Nope, they don't. So going back over to ASO. ASO's town is hiding in the clouds here, but that cloud is drifting away, and we're hoping that it's going to show itself any minute, and we'll see what happens. No guarantees, so that is all cool. And actually, yeah, maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. Let's see. I'm hoping you can start to see the edge or the outlines a little bit of the crater wall here. I don't know if that's going to just drift across there. We may not be able to see it after all. I think I'll just leave it be, and we know it's in there. It's hiding, and of course that is it's steaming pretty good. So that is what we've got going on there. Let's have a look down in the Philippines at Taal, and this is our morning sunrise at Taal. And let's get on the right screen here and change that a little bit. There we go. That is the reddish golden sky of the morning. And of course, here is our Taal volcano. You can see a little bit of pluming or off-gassing happening right there, in little clouds, not as much coming out as possible, but we do have it on an orange rating, orange just like that sky, and that is kind of awesome to see. And I think that's actually a pretty good picture there. So unfortunately, a little hazy looking. Why is it so hazy? Yeah, no, 720, that's as good as it gets. Unfortunately, I guess just hazy. So that's all we get from there right now. It's not erupting. Next one, of course, is frozen screen. Let's get to that one. And we can see some Sasquatches walking around. Of course, this is Yellowstone National Park, and of course, right now they're looking at some of the geysers in the areas. Some are geysers, some are mud pits, all kinds of different things there. There are over 500 different active geysers there in Yellowstone National Park. And it is a very, very interesting place. Of course, sitting basically over top of a big hot spot, and considered to be the Yellowstone supervolcano. And I'm not too worried about it going off anytime soon. So we're pretty good that way. And that's all cool. Let's pop over to Hawaii. And we'll take a look at what we were seeing in Hawaii. Anyway, from 1756 last night is when that shot came in. And just trying to find it. There we go. Hard to see in this one, actually. I took it a little too early, I think. But our lava flow comes in from this end over here, and typically flows in. You see some of the brighter areas. This being the lava pond that's within the Kilauea caldera, and that is what we're seeing there. The brighter spots, those are the drain points, and of course that's caused by the lava flowing down into the holes that it goes into, and of course the gas bubbles come back up, and they don't want to go down, and they pop at the surface and break up some of that crusted over lava, since it's fairly a thin crust in comparison to the old material that's been sitting there for months or years already. So pretty cool. So let's refresh that picture, see what it looks like right now. And wow, that lava level is really low in the toe area. So that toe area may not have an opening anymore feeding it, and that is kind of a shame, because we like that toe. We'll see what happens. It looks like the cracks are actually getting a little larger over here, and more of a droop of this whole thing. And there's also cracking along here, and that whole chunk in here is kind of dipping down right about in the center here, where, oh, actually you can see right in there, there is a tunnel going through. You can actually see it, that little hole right there. So the lava level has to rise again in order to be able to allow that lava to flow in there. And it's not quite as low as it was yesterday, but still fairly low. You do see some of the brighter patches here and here. Those are, again, the same thing, exit ports where the lava is draining out down below, and the gas bubbles breaking up some of the thin covering or cool lava on top that has crusted over on that area. Popping over to the next one, this again from 1759 yesterday, or just about 6 p.m. Hawaii time. You can see the lava pond primary vent right there, and of course not able to see the Hornito in this shot. We do still see quite a bit of steam or smoke way up high here, and that is very interesting. I'm still waiting for this piece to fall into the caldera. It will be interesting to see that. Also see some very high steam areas in the back side here as well. And let's refresh that, see what it looks like right now. Looks like things have subsided. Not seeing so much of the steam here or in the backside anymore. Primary vent right there, and you can almost make out the little Hornito right there hiding in the smoke area. And of course you can see the kind of a outline of the area here. That whole area is kind of raised up a little bit, and the edges are much lower, and it's like it's a big chunk of cooled lava that is floating on top of the magma pond that is underneath there. And of course that is the depth of the crater is actually about it's showing the lava being at about 144 meters or 470 feet above the actual caldera floor, and volume is roughly 111 million cubic meters sitting inside that caldera, and that is 29.2 billion gallons. Of course, that has been erupting since last year. September 29th of last year is when it started doing its thing. So that's what we're seeing right there, you guys. Okay, popping over. Oh, hang on, we got more. To the other side of the caldera. There we go. A shot from last night. There's your lava pond primary vent. Lots of smoke happening, and we see that smoke coming up on the sides here. That's right down below is where that spot is that I feel is going to drop into the caldera. We'll see what happens. Let's refresh that one to our current picture. That is what it looks like right now. And hey, Linda, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. Busy times. Yep, not a worry. And anyway, we see the primary vent lava pond. Very hard to see the toe. We do see Pig Island right here, and that is very cool. And of course, again, it looks like the area there is a little bit higher up than the edges. So we know that island in the middle is floating, and Pig Island was the original floating chunk of lava in there, and that has a much bigger surface area now. So pretty cool. Quick look at the thermal from yesterday at about 6 p.m. You can see the primary vent there, not very much overspill or output. There's your little hornito down there, and of course you can see the brighter end on the lava pond, and of course some of the spots showing where the lava is draining out, and not so much over here in the toe area. Let's refresh that one. Quick peek at it, and we're waiting for it to refresh. There we go. And really not that much of a change in the view, and yeah, maybe a little bit brighter in here. Really not much different in anything else. We do see around the edges it does have kind of a lighter halo, so there will be more heat being transferred out there, and that's kind of what it is showing us. And then again, the primary floating chunk of lava here, much darker, and you can see Pig Island really dark right there because it's a lot cooler. So that's what we've got there. I wanted to pop in to this map. If I refresh it, it'll put us back on the map, and if you type in Hawaii maps, that's what comes up. And of course that is Mauna Loa, and we want to see what Mauna Loa looks like. There we go. There's the caldera. This is from today at 11:31, and that is the caldera of Mauna Loa, and that is what we see there. So pretty awesome, you guys. And yeah, you can bring that up. Actually, Leo just did Hawaii map for anyone who is interested in that. And of course, what it will bring up is this map here. And if we zoom back out, it'll give you a better idea of what's all on there. A bunch of different sensors, tilt meters, gas, and GPS, and the like, and different cameras in different places. So you can click on those cameras and make the pictures bigger. Some of them are up to date, some of them are not, like this one from December 31st, 1999. A little bit aged, isn't it? But still a lovely shot, if you ask me. Anyway, that is what we've got going on there. And it wanted to change things. It decided to go back 2 instead of 1. Anyway, we'll leave that on there. We're going to pop over and take a quick look at the earthquakes there in Hawaii. Give me a second to get over to that map, since we had moved it away. Ooh, much bigger quake there. 6.2 mid-Atlantic ridge from 1038. That is awesome. Oh, and a new quake there, 5.4 in Papua New Guinea. 10 kilometers down, happened at 1510. Anyway, let's get back to Hawaii. That's what we're looking at. And there's your Hawaiian Islands. And of course, when we zoom in a little bit, we can see this is Loihi Seamound, and this is way out in the water somewhere. And this is 1.9, happened at 1401, 16.2 kilometers down for that little guy. Let's take a look at our Pahala area and see what's shaking there. And this one is a 2.0 from yesterday at 1730. And then we have this one, 2.0, yesterday at 2231. 2.1 from yesterday at 2114. And this one, 2.3 from yesterday at 1949. There's two stacked together here. 2.0 from today at 19 minutes after midnight. Then he had a friend from today at 28 minutes after midnight, 2.0, and then at 1.9 from 9:53 a.m. That is the Pahala area. And of course, Pahala, the depth of most of those quakes are between about 26 and 37 kilometers typically. So that is pretty normal, nothing unusual there. We do have a couple of quakes up here on Mauna Loa. Let's have a look at those. 1.8, 3:12 a.m., 100 meters above sea level on that guy. Then we have this one, 1.8, and that is from yesterday at 2010, 400 meters above sea level. And this guy here, 1.7, and that is from 1922 yesterday, 1.6 kilometers above sea level. And then we have this guy is way down, 2.0, and it is at 17.8 kilometers down from 1223. Sliding over a little bit more and looking at some of the other areas here. 1.9, 46 minutes after midnight, 29.6 clicks are down for that guy. We don't see anything new at Kilauea, but we do have these two here. Going to grab those real quick. 2.0, 6:59 for that one. 3.3 kilometers down. Uh-oh, I hear a mad squirrel. A mad squirrel yelling at me out at the window. I don't know if you heard that. Anyway, 2.2, and that is almost 7 a.m. 3.2 kilometers down for that one, and that is all we've got for there. A quick zoom in on Kilauea. We don't see any new quakes there, and that is what we've got. So that is it for Hawaiian earthquakes, you guys. Nothing really super rumbling there right now. We will return to earthquakes around the world. Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying. He says, get those nuts out of there. Squirrely, I'll get out there right away. I'm going to take a break. He's staring at me from the tree. That darn guy. It is Pepsi time. You're right, Leo. So all you good folks that are here, I'm going to put you back onto Stromboli. No, I'm not. The camera is off. I'm going to put you on canned lava. How about that? We'll take a look at canned lava for right now, and we'll wait till the screen changes, and we'll get that going. That's all cool and very good. Okay, I'm going to go tend to a squirrel, and then I am going to be back. So give me a few minutes, you guys, and keep smiling, be nice, play nice in the lava. And of course, for those good people who have not yet hit that like button, please help us out, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get it up as high as possible there. And on that note, I'll be back. Don't go away. And the microphone is back on. Welcome back, everyone. I see a few more people popped in. Mona Alfano, welcome. I'm glad to have you on board. Kevin Williams also here. And let's see, who else snuck in the door there? And way to go, Sherry Hewitt, with that new avatar picture there. Pretty awesome. And let's see, I thought I seen somebody else popped in that I didn't say hi to. I said hi to Leo. Grandma B is here, welcome. And Oz is also in the house. And I think we're good for right now. King Colin Deadman, yep, we got you earlier. How much has it risen in the last year, Doc? You're asking a silly question. I have no idea. That is a good question, but I don't know. So hopefully we'll figure that out down the road. It's going up and down though. And anyway, let's carry on. We were doing our earthquakes, so let me pause that wonderful canned lava. And that is from Iceland, by the way. From back on the 14th, and look at that, caught that plume way up in the air, and that is pretty awesome to freeze lava midstream. Kind of neat. Let's see, and yep, I did put some more walnuts out for I was going to say the bunny, the squirrel, and of course he was yelling at me from across the street, probably saying thank you. I don't speak squirrel, so I have no idea what he was saying. But it wasn't a minute later, he was back over here and he got another walnut and took off. So obviously he's been watching me. and gonna have to buy some more walnuts today. They're pretty much out, so only got the little bits left, and I'll have to set that out before I go shopping. That way he can get whatever he needs. Okay, earthquakes. I'm back there. Let's get over and have a look. And going. Come on, computer, catch up. And we'll see what we can do. We already took a look at the one that we had in the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, so that is all awesome. And we'll see what else we've got going on here. There we go. So we did see this one. That was a 6.2, and that was pretty shaky, and that was from 10:38 this morning. Dr. Want to do a plan on doing about the skunk that raided the bunny feeder. Well, the skunk was passing through. It didn't really care for the bunny food, and I'm not worried about that. But I did post that video, and that was one big skunk. That was not a small animal, almost the size of one of the big rabbits. And you don't want to mess with the skunk. I'm going to leave the skunk be. It was just passing through, so I'm going to leave it alone. Anyway, we don't see too much on the Kermadec Ridge. I still have the old one down here on the bottom end of New Zealand, but we'll leave that guy be. Next one here, 4.5 in Fiji from 335, sorry, today. And that was 429 kilometers down, and he had a friend beside him, 4.5. 8:43 a.m. 583 kilometers down, and of course that is that subduction zone. This plate is subducting under this one, so Pacific under the Indonesian plate. Pretty awesome to see. And we also see a 5.4 here in Papua New Guinea, and that was from 1510 their time, as well as this guy here, 4.5, Indonesia, 18 kilometers down, 4:33 a.m., and a little bit of shaking going on Java, and that is kind of nice to, well, it's not kind of nice to see. I don't like any place getting earthquakes, but interesting to see, I should say. That one was from yesterday at 21:43, 81.4 kilometers down, and Merapi is there, and Semeru would be right about there, so I don't know if that would affect either one. And Krakatoa is out here. This one though, 4.9, that could affect Krakatoa a little bit. 4:02 a.m., 48 kilometers down. And again, this is a subduction zone, and of course this is the end result. You see all kinds of pressure from below causing those volcanoes doing its thing. Zooming out a little bit and going up a little bit more, we see up here towards where Dakono and Ibu are located, and 4.8 for those guys. 3:55 a.m., 41.4 kilometers down. And looking at this, very close to Taal, and there's a Taal volcano inside Taal Lake, and we had this 4.4 there from 2:44 a.m., 227.9 kilometers down, and that is what we've got right there. Nothing too major. We see here in Japan 4.7, 7:49 a.m. their time, and 27.9 kilometers down for that guy. That would have shaken some of the islands around there, and that would also have possibly, yeah, I think gotten all the way over to our Suwanosi-jima, but you never know. And going up, and we see this one 4.6 from yesterday, 22:37, 45.2 kilometers down for him. And then another one a little further up, Kuril Island area, and that is a 4.5 from today at 1337 and 36.6 kilometers down there. So the biggest one on the planet right now, looking at the 6.2 from the mid-Atlantic ridge, and we already looked at that one earlier. No tsunamis or anything being generated by that, which is absolutely good. Now let's take a look at our Canary Islands, and we'll pop over there. I'm going to refresh that map. I was looking at other stuff there earlier, and we'll just refresh it real quick to see. So if we zoom out and look up top, we still see the old ones from yesterday. I'm not going to worry about those. We do see a couple of interesting ones here. 2.8 yesterday's as well, from 1311, and this guy is 2.4 from today at 1305. So a little bit of shaking going on down in the south, but let's zoom in a little bit more here into La Palma itself. The first one we see, 1.1, happened at 21:54, so a very recent quake, and that was 2 kilometers down, and not very deep, and that's fairly close to the airport out there. Hopefully it didn't scare anyone or anything. Anyway, looking at what we have for today's quakes, really only the two, that top one, the recent one, and then a 1.6 from 6:28 a.m. That one is 13 kilometers down, and as you can see, it's right there is the location. So the other ones were all older, and we'll leave them be. A quick peek at our volcano map. I'm going to refresh that as well. Otherwise, we'll have too old stuff, and we always like fresh material here. That way we get as accurate as possible. Anyway, we do see Asja still up in Iceland, and then we have Seo George and Terceira there on the Azores. There's that big quake, Michael volcano down there, South Sandwich Islands, and then looking at what we're seeing in the Ring of Fire, basically along the South American and Central American coastlines, and we see it's nothing really changed or major happening there right now. Fernandina still showing a yellow out there in the Galapagos Islands. Sliding over here to New Zealand, zooming in just a little bit. Taupo, that of course being at the bottom of the lake, I'm not going to see it, but that is there. It's still a yellow. They haven't taken it off yet. We'll see what happens in the future. White Isle volcano, of course, was upgraded a few days back from a yellow to back to an orange, so a little bit of unstable area there, if you will. These are ones here, well, actually two of them are a little bit newer. 4.2 there. This wasn't on the other map, by the way, and that was from 1228, and 413 kilometers down for that guy. This 4.7 also from today, and 2056 was the time on it, 33 kilometers down. And again, that is because of the subduction area here, and this is the Kermadec Ridge. Moving up a little bit, Tofua is still there. Tonga Islands, of course. Home Reef volcano, same area. It is still considered to be active. I haven't seen any new satellite profiles of it. Going to try to let's see if I can find. There was a place that had a bunch of links for satellite shots. We'll see if we can find a new one. And still pretty normal here for Vanuatu. Same thing goes for our wonderful Papua New Guinea area. Luolotok out here. And wow, Kevin Haynes, our first super chat of the day. Thank you very kindly, Kevin, for that $3 super chat. And awesome. And just writing it down. Thank you. I do appreciate that, Kevin, and that is wonderful support. Semaru, Merapi, and Krakatoa there, and we did discuss these three quakes already. 4.9 according to this, 48.1 kilometers down, and that is fairly close, and that might rattle it a little bit, but I don't know what's going to happen. And Ibu and Dakono right there, I guess that quake is a little bit further off than I thought. That is 4.8, 17 minutes ago according to this, so probably about 20 minutes ago now, and 240 kilometers down. So that may affect that area, but not that much. And of course, that 4.4 that we've seen right here in Taal area, and Taal volcano, and there it is, 4.4. And of course, again, this is a subduction area, so it causes all kinds of volcanoes to pop up. And let's see, yeah, that's about it there. See, those 4.3 and a 4.3 in Taiwan. We did see this one earlier. And of course, Suwanoshi-jima still erupting, as well as Sakurajima. And going up, well, we should look at this one. Nishimo-shima is still doing its thing as well, and sliding up all the way to the Kamchatka Peninsula. There's Ibiko, Alade, Krimsky, Bezimiani, and Shivalish, and those are definitely still there and active. And quick shot here, Great Sitkins, those guys fairly quiet. Pavlov doing its thing, and then of course we had Trident Volcano. Let's see if I actually had, nope, that didn't work, never mind. That ain't gonna work. Stromboli still doing its thing, and we see more lava flowing down the hill, and that is interesting. Kind of like that, you guys. You see it right there, so pretty cool. In the thermal, you can see that flow. Very neat. Okay, getting back to our other map though. I think we've done most of everything there. We do want to take a quick look at weather. So I'm going to see if we can get us over to the weather maps, and we'll refresh those. And yeah, oh, okay. There we go. There's our weather map. Actually, that's the SO2 map, so that is all right. We'll take a look at that first. Looking at what we see above Alaska, going up into the Canadian north there, we see a little bit of a plum. Wind directions, of course, throwing things off. You can see the flow here, jet stream kind of going down in a wiggle pattern here. But we see the dirty Edmonton dumping out all kinds of stuff, and then of course we've got more refineries helping add to that out in Camrose area or past there, and that is what we're seeing there. U.S. looks pretty normal. Looking down here in Mexico, of course, we have Popocatépetl as well as Mexico City, and with 22 plus million people throwing stuff in, so that's what we see right there. A storm that came in, Julia, that finally made it through. You can see that it is cleaned a lot of that air by the rains that were following. Hey, nice to see Arizona snowman, and going down a little bit more. Everything kind of, well, with this circulating here, it's kind of messing things up, but we do see that flow back into the Pacific. And going down here, we also see another big system circulating here, and that actually I do believe is not considered a storm yet. Sorry, never mind. And we see that is drawing out some of that stuff from Peru and Bolivia and those areas, and that'll probably circulate around if it can, and end up back over in the Atlantic as well. Not too bad for those other guys there. Sliding over a little bit more, and there we go. New Zealand, we see White Isle volcano still off-gassing really well as Tofua right there doing its thing. This is, of course, our Vanuatu and that area doing Yasur and his buddies there doing his thing. Leo doesn't have his barbecue on today. We only have pollution from the refineries. Yeah, so Leo is not cooking anything. Leo, what are you going to have on the barbecue later? Anyway, we do see the coking plants are doing their thing, so that is all awesome. And of course, to get a proper charcoal, you do have to coke the charcoal. In other words, basically bake it, and then what you do is you bag it and you send it to Sydney, and then they truck it over to Melbourne, and then Leo buys it from the barbecue store for his big grill, and that's all good. Anyway, let's keep going here. Okay. Papua New Guinea, not too bad, normal looking. Luolatak and Semeru. Merapi, not as much, but Semeru is putting out a fairly good amount of SO2 there. Not seeing as much coming from Krakatau. Possibly most of that is from Jakarta. Ibu and Dakono still working away there. And we are seeing more coming off of the other ones here. Passing out cookies. Oh, you're a good man. That's excellent. And we know this is Mayon, right in that area. And then, of course, we are seeing more SO2 possibly coming out of Taal, as well as Manila is very heavily populated, so we've got a lot of people in that area doing their thing. We still see this, and I am really kind of baffled why we're still seeing that plume out here. Hopefully we'll see it disappear, and I'm wondering if it's the stuff that's coming off of Sakurajima and Suwanosi-jima, as well as some of the stuff blowing out from China that's creating this. And maybe even our other friend over here, this the one that we had in Japan's islands here. So what is it, Nishimoshima, something like that. Anyway, that's still there. And then we head up, we see the big plume coming out of China, coming out that way, and then of course going up. Very hard to tell what's actually coming off of the Kamchatka Peninsula, where it'll be Karimsky, Bezimiani, and Shivalish still doing their thing. And yeah, different circulations of air patterns around the world really mess things up. Normal stuff in India, and still down here in South Africa. The plants, of course, where the gold smelting is happening, continuing to do their thing. And of course, same thing goes for this. Well, it's not gold here, it's black gold, coal, and of course the volcanoes in DR Congo. Ertael, it would be somewhere around here, and very hard to tell with the extra pollution or ongoing pollution coming out of Saudi Arabia. Jordan, of course, having a bunch of big refineries there for the oil, and that creates a lot of SO2. And then you can also see that over here in Kuwait, as well as going up into Iraq, where Baghdad has some refineries as well. looking over here, we see this drift out. This is kind of weird. We're seeing that spot in Greece, and I'm wondering if that again is due to air currents causing it to drift out. We know we had some fires up there because it's bone dry, but I don't know if that's exactly where it's from. But this will likely be from our wonderful, hang on, I'll get it, Etna. Hey, that's something we didn't look at, was it? We didn't look at Etna. We went right over to Stromboli, and we never did look at Etna. And of course, Stromboli, when we click on the cameras, that is what they're showing on this one. So I'll let that play through. You can see some of the still shots there that they're showing from those other guys, the Vedetta guys. And the Vedetta guys are not friendly. So the fact that this is on windy.com, they can't say anything about it. And that is pretty cool. Anyway, that is what we've seen there, and looking pretty good. Yeah, since we did not see that earlier, I want to pop over there. Let's have a quick look, because I did make a time lapse, and if we go back in the day, it was a little bit on the rough looking side there in Sicily, and Etna was not visible. And I did make a time lapse of earlier in the day just so you could see a little bit there, and hopefully that kind of lets you know it's not a long time lapse. This one's only about half as long as the normal ones, but you can see that, you know, early in the morning it was doing its thing. That's between 7 and 9 a.m. roughly is what this was all about, and pretty awesome to see that. And we liked it, and I thought it was neat. Okay, looking at the time though, I do need to let my throat cool off. I do feel that heating up, so I'm going to go take another little bit of a break here. I know we're probably going to lose a few more people before the weather here, but I kind of got to do what I need to do. Otherwise, I won't have a voice left, you guys. And that was it for there. So we will get back to looking at the rest of the weather after the break. So be good, hang in there, you guys, and we'll see what we can do. All right. Anyway, let's. I'm just trying to get things going here again. Actually, let me see if we can put you back onto Stromboli for the meantime, since that has some action. I'll throw some music back on, and those good people that are here, please do hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And on that friendly note, also, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet and you're sitting on the outside, if you feel we've earned it, by all means hit that button. We need more subscribers all the time, and that would be great if you could. On that note, I'm going to throw the music back on, and I will be back in a short little while here. So keep smiling, be good, play nice in the lava, and careful. And that's a very steep slope there on Stromboli. That's a long way down into the water at the bottom. Don't go away. I'll be back in a bit. All right, I've got that microphone back on. Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad to have you all on board today. And thank you for sticking around. I know we are going a little bit longer here today. Thanks, Arizona Snowman and Mona and Sue and Leo and Grandma B and Mummy of Hamsters, who has got a chance to look at her screen since they are leaving her bee for a second. And thanks, King Colin Deadman. Awesome. Of course, on screen right now, Stromboli, as it continues to throw out an immense amount of lava right now. You can see the small insert there on the right-hand side. That is, of course, the thermal cam showing some of that wonderful goodness flowing down the hill. So pretty cool looking, and that is what we've got. But anyway, we were going through things, and of course we were working on weather, our final segment, of course, of the stream. And we did look at the SO2 around the world. Let's pop in and have a quick look at what it is like in the weather world. So quick check up in the north here. You can see, yep, minus 41, minus 42 degrees Celsius in Greenland. Boy, they should have called it white land, really. But I guess, hey, when you got a bunch of people trying to sell the real estate, you're going to call it Greenland. You're not going to call it white land, right? And anyway, that is what we've got. Looking at North America, we see Alaska is fairly cool, and then portions of the Yukon fairly cool, but the bottom end just a little bit warmer. Same thing goes for Northwest Territories, and none of it, of course, wants none of it as far as that warmer temperature. So they've turned on the refrigeration units, and very, very cold there. We can see that plume of warmer air goes all the way up and cuts through our prairies. Of course, a little bit cooler up in the mountains, but central and lower British Columbia had not a bad day. Most of Saskatchewan looked pretty warm, and that is pretty awesome. Getting into Manitoba, a lot colder weather already, and then northern Ontario and all of Quebec, going all the way through to Newfoundland, Labrador here. Very, very cold temperatures. The bottom end of Ontario did warm up a little bit, but not by much, looking at 11 degrees in our Toronto, and of course Montreal coming in at about 7. Quebec City a little colder at 5. Looking out here in New Brunswick, looking at anywhere from 2 to about 7-8 degrees is what we're seeing. And weather for Sue Hayes will be around 7-8 degrees Celsius as well. Halifax showing as 12. That is a little bit on the coast, so yeah, coastal areas be a little bit warmer. Looking at Newfoundland, though, it has variable stuff again. The southern areas or coastal areas a little bit warmer, and that's what we're seeing there. Sliding over into the U.S., we see it's pretty much all fairly warm up to about Chicago, and we do see the top end of Minnesota getting a little bit on the colder side, but nothing too terribly bad yet. Sliding down along the western coast looks very, very nice for the most part. Probably about 39 or so in Death Valley. We'll see what we've got there. And 38. I was close, almost had it. And thanks, Sue, for bringing that up. And of course, a lot of the other places here showing, some decent temperatures. Actually, kind of hot yet. 35 degrees. That's pretty awesome. Down in LA, not quite as warm. 25, 26. Mexicali coming in about 34, zipping over to Phoenix, about 31, 32 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. Tucson, a little bit cooler than that. I guess they have some showers down there or something. New Mexico, a lot cooler than what we see up from in Arizona here in the bottom end. But still not that bad. Could be worse. Colorado, higher elevations, quite cold. Lower stuff, having 21, 22, 23 degrees, not bad. Looking at what we've got going on in Texas, Lubbock up here, kind of the cold area, but the rest seems to be mid or high 20s for the most part. So places like Dallas coming in 26, 27, San Antonio about 30 degrees Celsius there, Houston 29, and down here where they do the rocket launches about 27, 28 degrees at our what is it, Stargate or Starbase, that's what they call it. Anyway, looking at Florida, holding a reasonable temperatures, not as warm as it could be, but still very nice, 25, 26 degrees for the most part. Looking at what we're seeing in Georgia as well, not bad. Getting up into Atlanta there, it's 20, and then of course you get into the mountains up here. What do they call them? Oh boy. It'll come to me. Never mind. It's one of those things. Sometimes things just don't pop into my head as quickly as they should. Grandma B's got about 16 degrees Celsius right now. Charlotte, Appalachians. There you go. Thanks, Sue. Glad you're thinking. And yeah, for some reason, I've never been to the Appalachians. I gotta go one day. I hear they're very pretty, and there's a couple places I want to actually visit. And Bree had told me about the one spot there where you stand up on the top of the mountain and you can see 7 different states from one location. So I really want to go there and see that. That would be pretty cool and awesome. Anyway, going up Virginia Beach, a little bit cooler, and as we head north, we see a lot cooler going up into Pennsylvania, New York, and those areas. Of course, New Hampshire, a little cooler. Maine, very cold, same as what we're seeing in New Brunswick. So that's about what we've got there. And they are lovely, Dr. Fox. Thanks. Man, I blew that one. Yeah, it's okay, Grandma B. We forgive you no matter what. Anyway, Cancun coming back in at 28, and we see that the Baja area is holding the heat. The central or higher areas here of Mexico a little bit on the cooler side, so not too bad. And of course, here's where Julia is causing all the problems. It did come across the land, so it is considered a tropical storm, but it is still working its magic there. And if it doesn't die out, it will continue on here and possibly gain strength again. We'll see what happens. Central America, a little on the cooler side because of all that high wind going through, but not overly bad. And we're looking at our rainforest in Brazil and other parts there, Venezuela, and of course, let's see, Peru and Colombia. There we go. Got the names in there. Looking at pretty good for those areas. Till we get down here, looking at Paraguay, a lot cooler today. Same thing with Argentina for the most part. Not as warm as it was yesterday. Even Uruguay, very cool, single digits in a lot of places, but still not too bad. Buenos Aires coming in at about 16, and we do see some mixing here, so very interesting. Hey, Oz threw in one gift membership, and thanks, Oz. That is awesome. Oz Rumby. Just writing down that. So, gifted one membership. Excellent, Oz. And we'll see who pops up and gets that. And just to let everyone know, you got to make sure that your gift setting is turned on in your browser or in your YouTube studio, so that way, if you were on the list and you were not a member at the time, you would receive a free membership. We'll see who gets that one. Looking at New Zealand, we do see they're a little bit warmer today, 15, 16, 17 on right along the coast on the eastern side of the South Island, North Island, getting up to those temperatures as well, all over the place there. Western side, of course, higher elevations in the mountains, and that is what we're seeing there. And still, I guess, not really super cold there in Tasmania, but I bet you Hobart coming in at probably about 12 degrees right now. And Melbourne, Leo just brought that up, coming in at about 12. It says 10 on the map here, but that high sitting there, it's still pulling some of that cold air in. We'll see if it moves over a little bit and pulls more warm air down there for Leo. And Sydney coming in at 14, Brisbane about 19, 20 degrees C. And going the other side, looking at Perth, we got about 14 degrees, 15 degrees there. So pretty cool. So looking at the northern ends of Australia, still not that hot. And I'm surprised that it hasn't heated up as much yet. And let's move on to our other areas here. We see this circulation out here. That would be just about on top of Tonga. And that is probably a storm brewing there. Hopefully they're all good. And seeing our Philippine, Malaysian, Indonesian areas doing its thing. Bangkok's temperature at 25, 24, 25. Yep. 100% relative humidity. I bet you it's raining there. Light rain. Anyway, we do see a couple of circulations here. One in the Philippine Sea, and then over here some more circulations. So lots of stormy stuff going on. Moving up a little bit more, Yellow Sea, very cold, very low teens or single digits depending on where you are. Seoul, quite chilly as well. In Korea, the further north you go, the colder it gets. And looking at Japan, they're actually a little bit warmer than yesterday, but still not very, very warm. And I think it's because of the fast-moving winds blowing across it. We see that low here. That is just hitting into I guess that would be kind of the junction point between China and Russia and, of course, North Korea. And that is where that low is sitting, so kind of wild. High temp or high sitting here, and that is recirculating a lot of that air. So the high is working good on the bottom, but not so good on the top. Kamchatka Peninsula looking very cold. The stuff over top of the Aleutian Islands, the Bering Sea area, we're seeing that low causing some cold there. And moving over, we have that storm here, Balita. Balita is in the Indian Ocean, of course, churning up some waves. And then we see India and Pakistan still holding some good temperatures. A little bit cooler right now in Oman, Yemen, and even in the bottom end of Saudi Arabia and UAE, a little bit cooler. The same thing goes for Iraq and Iran, and that's kind of what we're seeing there. South Africa, looking a lot warmer than what it's been, and actually seeing some mid-20 temperatures in the northern portions. Johannesburg 17 right now, and not bad. Durban coming in at 20, Cape Town about 17 as well, and that area. Still a little bit cool right on the bottom, and that's probably because that high is churning away here. Looking at the other stuff in our Sahara Desert, it's starting to get cooler again. In some areas, we see Egypt is actually a lot cooler. Cairo coming in at 21 C, so not so good. And going up as soon as we get out of Syria into Turkey, it gets down to single digits again, which is really not so good. And of course, looking at what we've got here for our wonderful Piggy. She's got 22 degrees roughly, or thereabouts. Actually, Leo's bringing that up. Thank you, Leo. 21 degrees Celsius right now. So for nighttime, at least she can sleep with the lower temperatures. And looking at the coastal areas around Greece, a lot warmer. As soon as we get inland a little bit, the temperatures start to go down. Same thing kind of goes for what we're seeing in Greece, or sorry, in Sicily, in here. Coastal areas fairly warm. Actually, it looks pretty good for nighttime temperatures. Not bad at all, really. Same thing goes for most of Italy till you start to get up. I guess around this area here. Higher elevations, of course, are going to be colder, but looks like the coastlines are pretty warm, and Milano coming in 16, 17 for a nighttime temperatures, not bad. New Monkland coming in at 15, 16, and 17 in the higher elevations. Coastal areas getting closer to 20 degrees Celsius. So if you live there, you want to be near the coast. It's a lot nicer. And then we take a look at Spain. They are regaining some of that temperature. Few places into the single digits, but most of it looking not bad. Same thing goes for the mountains here towards our French people. And France, of course, showing some mixed bag of weather as far as temperatures are concerned. So that's what we're seeing. The top end is a little bit on the cooler side. Same thing goes with Germany, is kind of hit and miss on some of the spots, but most of it is in the single digits. 7 degrees in Berlin, 8 in Hamburg, Cologne coming in at 9, Munich at 7. So that's kind of what we've got in those areas. Holland and Belgium and Luxembourg, about the same, 6, 7, 8 degrees, somewhere in there. Unless you're right along the coastline, then it'll warm up a little bit. And looking here, we see Wales and England, not bad. As soon as you get up into Scotland, very cold, single digits, some down to 4 or 5 degrees. And same thing goes for old Irish Monkland. And of course, that is 6, 7 degrees. Coastal areas again, still a little bit warmer, so not bad. And I do have to make a comment. A big sympathy and condolences go out to the wonderful people of up here in Northern Ireland, where the gas station blew up, and I'm not sure exactly how many people perished, but there was a gas station that blew up, and at least 9 people had perished in the explosion. And it's unfortunate that happened, but it was up there, and it's just, it's 10 people now. Okay, thanks, John. And it's unfortunate that happened, and it's one of those things. Not sure what caused it, but I'm sure they'll figure everything out. So But that is up there, and of course Irish monk is down here near the West Isles, and that is he's down here near Doolin, so that is where our Irish monk lives. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. And let's move up a little bit. We did want to look at what we see in Denmark. Coastal areas again, a little bit warmer, and not so good for Norway. Well, coastal areas again warming up. There's with the warmer water, and that always keeps things going a little bit. But Oslo coming in about 9-10 degrees. Stockholm about 9 right now, and that is not so bad. Could be worse. And we are seeing up on the top end of Finland, Sweden, and Newfoundland, not Newfoundland, Norway. Let's get it right. Time for me to take a break, right? We'll see. We're going to finish this, so you guys. And we see this monster low sitting here causing some issues for Iceland. And you see all across Iceland some very cold temperatures. That low needs to go away, and then allow some of that warmer air to come back up there and hit it, and give them some decent stuff. So there we go. We want to take a look at the precipitation real quick, and we're going to make that real quick. We see this up here in North America, so Alaska and Yukon and northern British Columbia, seeing some of that. Pretty clear in the rest of Canada till you get over here into Quebec. We are seeing some cold, wet rains. Looking at some in New Brunswick, as well as the St. Lawrence Seaway hitting Newfoundland here. I'm not even going to talk about that other stuff. Storms down here in Florida, just isolated ones, nothing really organized, no major systems. Here's Julia, still churning away in Central America, causing all kinds of grief and havoc. Lots of isolated storms in our Mexican area. Not so bad. In Arizona, we do see these here. This is kind of weird. On the Baja, a bunch of a little row of storms. I don't usually see that. Anyway, New Mexico, seeing some isolated storms, as well as a few in Texas. As we slide down further, though, we see that I don't know what's going to happen with Julia. We'll see. It's a girl's name that could be dangerous. Anyway, looking at the Amazon, some rain all the way around it, but we don't see too much right here in the middle. And of course, we're seeing here Rio de Janeiro still getting bad weather, Sao Paulo as well, and getting down. Nothing down in Argentina, or not that we can see there, and Uruguay, not bad. Not till you get down to the bottom into Chile, then it gets really bad. Sliding over and looking at that low just off the coast of New Zealand here, South Island, and that is causing some rain on the western side, but the eastern side, as we looked, it was pretty nice. That high sitting over top of just east of Melbourne as keeping things clear for them. A little bit of rain down here in Tasmania, so not so bad. And possibly a little bit of rain there in Brisbane, but not overly bad. Most of it is staying out in the ocean. Same thing with Perth, is still getting some rain as well. Looking at what we have in our Philippine, Malaysian, Indonesian areas, and still all kinds of variable storms. Here's this one starting to pick up, and that is interesting. And of course, that big one that they've got out here, I'm not sure how big that's going to get, but it is there churning away. And what we were looking at, rain in Bangkok, it definitely is. And we're seeing all kinds of stuff getting nailed there. This is not good for Japan, and they are getting some big storms, dumping a lot of water in the northern portions of the Sea of Japan, really getting hit really bad. So that's what we've got there. Kamchatka Peninsula. Holy mackerel, those magpies are noisy. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They're probably seeing the squirrel and complaining. I think that one's sitting right on the roof or something. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Anyway, Mark, welcome and good evening, or should I say good evening to some of you. And Mark, there are all kinds of different people from different places, so it's morning, evening, afternoon, you pick it, and that is kind of what we've got. Anyway, India getting some storms as well, and looking at Piggy's area here, keeping fingers crossed that she does get some rain. Not seeing anything as of yet, and it doesn't look like there's any cloud areas coming in there. We do see this in between Sardinia and Italy, and that is of course already affecting Sicily as well, and that's what we've got. Going up, we see that system going across. I guess it'd be the warmer areas really that we were seeing. We do have that right there. Yes, a morning there in Iceland. So that is pretty cool. All the way around, depends on where you are here, right? We're around the planet, and we have somebody from South Africa. We have, of course, a few people from Australia, some from New Zealand at times, and it is amazing that we see so many. Hey, Leo, you're taking off. You're very welcome, sir, and thank you for being here. And awesome to have you. 10 minutes past midnight there in wherever you are, John. Okay, no problem. And anyway, Wales and England getting some. Ireland looks like it's already out of it again. And we see up here in northern portions of Norway, they're getting nailed with a little bit bleeding over into Sweden with some snow. And of course, Iceland. And boy, that low was still dumping that cold stuff into Iceland, and hence the reason for the picture of the snow on the mountains. So that is what we've got. Anyway, let's put this back on temperatures real quick. Going to go hunt for our lowest temperature on the planet very quickly, and we'll see what we can find. I found minus 62 already, minus 63. That didn't take long. And there should be something right in that area. Maybe a little bit cooler, but let's see. Maybe we can find a minus 64, 65. No, I think we're going to be about it. Minus 62, 61. Yep. So, yep, the coldest I think that I found there was minus 63. So, yeah, minus 61 there. And, yeah, I'm going to live with minus 63 for right now. Hey, Sue found a minus 64. Sue, I'll let you be the winner. And, hopefully you'll stay warmer than me. And anyway, that is pretty awesome. So that's our temperatures, and definitely, yep, Sue, you get that chance. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I'm going to actually pop it back onto Stromboli and see if that is still doing its thing, and we'll end the show with live lava. 3 more to make it to 100. Sultans of Swing, welcome, and hopefully we can get there. And yeah, it looks like Stromboli is starting to calm down a little bit. That plume isn't quite as big. Either that or we've got a lot more fog and smog and fog covering us up. So anything is possible. Okay, everyone, thank you all for being here. That is awesome. I want to say thank you for the support. Kevin Haynes through the only super chat in there. Thank you, Kevin. And Oz, of course, bought or gifted 1 membership. I did not see who actually got that one, but YouTube does its thing, and they do hand it out. It's just to whom I have no idea. Anyway, only a few more likes to go. If anyone hasn't hit that like button, please do give it a shot and help us out that way. And on that friendly note, it is time for me to wrap it up. I do have other things that I need to do yet. I have to go to the store and buy some more walnuts for an angry squirrel who yells at me from across the street. You leaving? I just got here. Pistol Pete, how come you're here so darn late? It's the weekend, you know. The stream starts at 2 o'clock. You're supposed to be on time. What's the matter with you? Anyway, tomorrow is Monday. It'll be back at 5 p.m. and that will be pretty good. So, all good. Mr. Maravich is tardy. Tardy? Uh-oh. Don't be tardy. Tardy tastes bad. Pete, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get a couple more likes in there. That would really be awesome. All right, you guys, be good and be kind, everyone. Thank you for that wonderful support. I do thank every one of the members in here, as well as the super chatters. You guys are really good. And, of course, the entire Lava family. And we appreciate each and every one of you. So please remember that. And thank you all. Hey, Connie Tyree, I didn't say hi to you, but thank you and a good night to you as well. And be good, everyone, and take care of yourselves, and have a wonderful evening or day or morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. And on that friendly note, we'll see everyone tomorrow. Take care, you guys. What happened to my Stromboli? Stromboli disappeared. Somebody stole Stromboli. And let's refresh Stromboli. And oh, I guess that times out after a little while. There we go. And we didn't touch it for a while, so it timed out. Okay, it was Kim. I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. Sue. Anyway, I haven't seen him for a little bit, so hopefully he'll make it back in. Anyway, take care, everyone, and please just, take it easy and be good and be kind. And most of all, please, tell your loved ones that you love them tonight, for tomorrow is never promised. I'm your host, DrFox2000, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you all tomorrow at the regular weekday time of 5 p.m. my time. And take care all. Oink, oink. Good night.
Bye.